And Marc Short joins us now. He served as former chief of staff to Vice President Mike Pence, White House Legislative Affairs Director during the first Trump administration, and is currently board chair of Advancing American Freedom. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Let's just pick up where Manu left off there with Senator Tillis, because there are lawmakers a little nervous, wary of President Trump seeking $230 million from his own Justice Department in the middle of a government shutdown, potentially. I just wonder how you interpret what we've learned to this point and what you would be saying to the president right now.
I think the timing's wrong. I think you're probably right on that. I think as well that the family has certainly accrued a lot of wealth from transactions with crypto and other things with foreign investors currently during this administration. So I think it looks odd when you're accumulating enormous wealth and asking taxpayers to pay off those bills in the midst of a shutdown. And there are also a lot of people that incurred hefty legal bills as a result of January 6th that are not getting compensation.
And speaking of the shutdown, yeah, I was going to say just the timing, but then you outlined a series of other things as well there. On the shutdown, there's this Reuters Ipsos poll that shows 50% of Americans think Republicans deserve most of the blame for the shutdown, 43% for Democrats. What do you think right now of this breakdown of how Americans are seeing who's to blame?
Well, I think it's one of the reasons that we've been so prolonged and probably not going to resolve this for probably another 10 days till we get to November 1st time when premiums go out. Because traditionally, I think Republicans have instigated these shutdowns and they've gotten a lot more of the public blame. Right now, it's pretty divided. And I think Republicans feel like, look, we passed a bill to fund the government. Democrats are trying to hold it hostage. They need to come to the table. I think Democrats look at that polling and say, you know, a lot of Americans want to see Obamacare subsidies extended. If we can make it to November 1st, we're on the winning side there. And so I think you continue to see not just impasse, but actually lack of conversation to resolve it.
Well, and, you know, that divide, you know, close but divided as far as that poll goes. I mean, there's no indication that it stays the same. And obviously both sides are calculating, you know, how long can we wait this out to get what our side wants. But there are calls for President Trump to get involved, to take a more direct role in the negotiating aspect of this. We haven't quite seen that to this point outside of a few comments here and there. Is that something you would support at this point, or how do you see it?
From a White House perspective, I think they've handled it exactly right. I think they've handled this, you know, frankly, better than the first administration. I think right now the president, what the American people see, is the president engaging in ceasefire success in Gaza and the Middle East. So they see the president negotiating with Zelensky and wanting now to enter onto a trip in China and address major trade issues. They see him on a much higher level as opposed to the dysfunction of Congress.
On that point, do you worry that some could say, yes, there are wins in that, but, you know, he's getting ready to go to South Korea. He's been focused on Ukraine. He has the Israel win as well, that he's focused on all these other priorities. What about us, the government workers in America?
Sure, but I do think that that's predominantly a dysfunction of Congress getting that passed. And so I think that from a White House perspective, just the sheer politics of him, I think he actually looks like he's more international, and I think he rises above it. I think it's the right approach politically for him.
But if they want him to get involved, right?
Well, I think that's a mixed blessing.
Well, because let's just look at this, because you know the Hill and you know the White House, and they have different interests on the Hill, right? They're feeling different kinds of pressure from this, and you say it is a mixed blessing, but they're feeling the squeeze up there.
They are, but here's why I think it's a mixed blessing, is because I think the reality is that government-run healthcare is proven to be a disaster, is proven to be bankrupt, and it's a failure. But I think that the White House is probably more willing to cut a deal with Democrats to extend the subsidies.
Which government-run healthcare
than a lot of the Obamacare. And Obamacare has proven to be a disaster. And I think we started with basically telling insurance companies to get on board, the Democrats did, to say we're going to have subsidies for you for 400% of poverty level. That was extended of that during COVID. You now have 12 million subscribers who didn't get any sort of claim, yet that money still passed on to insurance companies at $35 billion the taxpayers are funding. It's been a total disaster.
It's private health care, let's be clear. I mean, just to be clear, it's not government.
There's no such thing anymore. There's no such thing as private versus public.
Much government support.
I'm on
TRICARE, and I've been on private, And there's a huge difference.
There's
so I will
much
tell you
government
that.
support of it across the
No,
board
that's
now.
right. There is obviously
It's hard to argue
there is
there's really
government
anything that's
support.
private anymore.
There was a mandate. There are subsidies. So now there are tentacles, but they're not the same thing.
But there's nothing as such as private anymore. It is all intermingled with government support now.
The formulary is different. We will keep going on this, Marc Short, in the commercial break, our newest podcast. Okay, Marc Short, thank you so much.